I know I'm late to the party here, but I gotta do this video. Life happened, but I gotta do this. And here we are. Here we are. Finally. Let's talk Star Wars Outlaws. I'm Swipper92 and this is Star Wars Outlaws. What's going on, really? I mean, the game has been out for 3 weeks now, somewhere around there. So yes, I'm very late to this party, but after playing the entire story, the entire campaign, doing a bunch of side things, I can't help but think, what's going on here? Really, what is going on? Let's take official reviews of the game are very like in the middle, 6, 7, maybe an 8 here and there. Some people don't like this system of like 1 to 10, but I think it's a good system, but it all depends on the user who is making or the player, I guess I should say, doing the review. It all depends on that person, how well they can tell the audience and tell others why they put that number on that game. But let's check out Metacritic because, yeah, Metacritic is not fully representative of the game player base. Mostly because it's so easy to make a review. You only need an account which is free to make, and then you can choose any number on the scale of 0 to 10 to put on the game. There is no need to verify that you have the game. There's no need to verify that you play the game or anything like that. The only thing you need to do is put a number and write a few words. There's a minimum amount of words, but if you look at some of the negative reviews, I mean, that's easy enough. Like Assassin's Creed Star Wars, 120 euro paid for Assassin's Creed, something UB for another bad game. Done. Now, these reviews that I have on screen are from the PlayStation 5 reviews. They're basically all the same. All the reviews on the different PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5 are basically the same. They sit around the same number on all of them, and reading some of the positive reviews are baffling to me. Even the ones who are like in the middle there with a 4 or a 5 are baffling to me. Mediocre game, it's very boring and generic. Poor graphics, it's like playing a PlayStation 3 game. Don't spend your money on this game, in this game. I don't think people are remembering how graphics looked on PlayStation 3. Um, some games on the PlayStation 3 were games like Star Wars The Force Unleashed, which look really good. I love those two games. Well, I love the first game. The second one was very mediocre, if even below mediocre. But anyway, the graphics on The Force Unleashed 1 and 2 are stunning. Look really good for that genre or that time era of games. But The Force Unleashed is not open world. They don't have tons of characters, they don't have tons of dialogue, they don't have tons of details in them. They have a good amount of details in them, and they have great physics, but it's still a linear kind of game. They have some open areas, you could call it, but it's not open world as Star Wars Outlaws is. And when it comes to open world games, well, the graphics will take a beating. You can't have like Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Black Myth Wukong graphics in a open world game. Well, not if you wanted to run somewhat well on somewhat old hardware. If you want a fully open world game with Black Myth Wukong or Space Marine 2 kind of graphics, well, you would need a massive computer, a state-of-the-art computer to run that, or a state-of-the-art console. But the same will be said for the positive reviews as well. It's just as easy to make a positive review, and I did notice that many of the negative and positive reviews on both ends here were made by people who had only one user, uh, only one game score or review on that account. So yeah, the people who say that this game wasn't review bombed, well, here it is. It's bullshit. It was review bombed on both sides, both positive and negative. Now, the scores for these are ranging between praising it from to God and beyond, like tens and nines, which the game isn't. It's not a 9 or a 10, definitely not. But then we have some real, just I would say critical reviews, but I want to say just plain hatred. Honestly, it's just plain hatred. Like, uh, there are 4 stealth sections and stealth is awful. Completely ruins the game. The director of this game is disappointed with the Metascore. Or us straight dudes don't mind playing as girls, so stop purposely making ugly girls. No one wants to play an ugly girl, not even girl gamers. It's pretty simple. Stop with the woke crap. We had enough of it. We're done. We're not buying it anymore. I give it a 1 because the 4 stealth sections weren't there, and if the stealth wasn't terrible like it is, the game wouldn't be that bad. I give it a 4 if it wasn't for the wokeness. Now, I'm not that political, but I don't see the woke thing here. Oh, it's a girl. It's a ugly girl in the game, and that's woke. What? If the quote-unquote ugly girl had been a lesbian and being able to one-shot every Imperial, including the Death Troopers, being able to punch out every Stormtrooper in one hit, and I mean when in combat, and then just being smug and really have a really bad attitude against everyone, but still everyone liked her, then yes, woke and Mary Sue. But no, Kves is not that. She is someone who has struggled her life. That's why she looks the way she does. She doesn't go and put on makeup every morning. She hasn't done a surgery to fix her nose. I mean, not all girls in games can look like the main character in Stellar Blade. And neither should they, because I find the Stellar Blade character very unrealistic. I don't care how she looks. I mean, she looks very nice. I don't care how she looks, but she's just unrealistic. And for a game like Star Wars Outlaws that is supposed to actually be set in the Star Wars universe and actually have a story there, I mean, unrealistic is not the character I want to see. I wouldn't want a space marine kind of macho human in there either. It wouldn't fit. It wouldn't be the kind of realistic kind of person in the game. I don't care I don't care if they're female or male or if they're gay or straight, but this story was rooted in realism, as realistic as the universe of Star Wars can be. The character is supposed to be realistic, if I let's put it that way. But we also have one reviewer who was he was just negative all over the place. He had 10 negative reviews, 0 out of the positive or mixed, which I find kind of funny. Oh well, it's easier to hate something than to praise something. Now, the game doesn't need praising. It's not a perfect game. I made a short review of it, or kind of long actually, because I want to be thorough. And I wanted it to look like, or I wanted it to be a real review and not something just I put out just because I want to balance the score. I just wanted to see how easy it is to make a review and put it out there on Metacritic. And I give the game a 7. It's a solid 7. It doesn't need to be more, it doesn't need to be less, honestly. Anything less than 4 or 4 or lower, I'm baffled in this game, honestly. Uh, okay, let's leave Metacritic for now. Go on YouTube, and I would say that the bigger YouTubers seems to have mostly a sort of a negative view of the game. Not everyone, but a few of them, at least what I've seen. I haven't checked out everyone, but many are being negative towards the game, and I think most of it lands on it being the fact that Ubisoft is publishing the game, and fair enough. I'm not a big fan of Ubisoft, but that's mostly comes down to their microtransactions in single player games, always online requirements and all that shit. I don't care for that. But they've done a great job with this game because it doesn't have any microtransactions and there's no forced online requirements, as far as I know. But they have done some really bad decisions throughout the years, and I understand the I understand the criticism of Ubisoft. I mean, I did a video of where about hitting rock bottom, or they hitting rock bottom. Now, the game is far from a 9 or a 10, as I said, but this kind of review thing that I've seen on YouTube is very. It seems to be a kind of a going into the game with a mindset of this is gonna be terrible. And if you go into that kind of with that kind of mindset, that's all you're gonna see, the terrible things. And every terrible thing is gonna be scaled up to a 10. Everything positive is gonna be like, well, that's nice. Oh, what the fuck is that? You're gonna do a 180 as fast as you see something negative. I mean, people are complaining about the graphics. Why? Seriously. Just look at this. I took this with the in-game photo mode, and I didn't change a thing. All I did was make the image still, and then I tilted the camera to the way I want, and then I took the picture. It looks great. The game looks really nice. I admit some of the character animations are a bit off, or okay, sometimes even way off, but it still looks really good. I mean, I don't understand what people are complaining about the graphics for. Unless you're running it on a potato computer, then fine, sure, okay. Now, YouTube, contrary to popular beliefs, is not the definitive representation of the gaming community. I know. Boom. Mind blown, right? Even the comments aren't a reflection of all the players, and that, well, not all comments, I should say. Not all comments are a reflection of the player base, because not all commentators have actually played the game, and therefore I would say their arguments are null and void. I mean, you can judge a game by looking at it, but I think a lot of the graphics are lost when looking at YouTube. I've noticed that with my own videos because I'm playing on a 1440p screen, but every video I make is 1080 because I can't export in a 1440p resolution because then other things get jumbled up or something. I had some issues with it, and I haven't taken the time to really look into exporting my videos in 1440p. But anyway, that's when a lot of the graphics or the nicer details are lost in a video. And plus, you can't judge controls in a video, and I find the controls in Star Wars Outlaws to be perfectly fine. I had some issues with clumsy movements at the start, but I got used to it. There's nothing wrong with combat. I have seen some negative things on the combat is being too simple or whatever. I'm like, you point a gun and you shoot. That's pretty much real life. Yes, it ain't that easy to just point and shoot and hit something, but it's a game. It doesn't need to be like super realistic Call of Duty with bullet drop and anything. It's Star Wars. It's plasma bolts. You're firing plasma bolts. Where you aim the gun is where they're gonna hit. Unless you're carrying a big minigun, that's gonna make it spray a little bit more, but that's a whole other issue. Well, that's all I got for this video on Star Wars Outlaws. What are your thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws? Have you played the game? Because if you have played the game, I would be very interested in your opinion, because I don't trust a lot of the negative reviews on Metacritic. I don't trust all the positive reviews on Metacritic either, because, as I said, it's way too easy to make a review there. It's also very easy to make a critical video of the game and then say, look at this gameplay. I have not played the game, but look at this gameplay from this YouTuber. It looks awful. And then they show a 2-minute clip of Asmongold being able to beat down every enemy because of some weird glitch or bug. Wow, he found one bug and he used 2 minutes of his life to make or showcase that. I'm not impressed. I have 40 hours in the game. I've not encountered anything like that. And sure, I could be one of the few lucky ones, but I have found very few bugs in the games. There was one bug that really annoyed me, where I had to actually reload a part, which was 15 minutes before, so that was really annoying. But that's about the only game-breaking bug I've encountered. I've been Swipin92, have a great life, and I hope to see you in future videos. Bye bye!